I'm going to tell a little story about how I got clean this time and how it's going to be different. It's different than any other time that I've gotten clean, and what's going to be different about it and why. Um, I was in a situation where I was living in a fucking abandoned house. I had no job, no money. I'm holding a sign every day. You know, my girlfriend is doing whatever the fuck she has to do to get money. She's disappearing for days and days on end. You know, I'm living in an abandoned house. I turned the electric on with butter knives. You know, and you know, I always come back to her and try to help her, and that's what happened this time. But what I was doing, I was walking up. I was broke. I had absolutely not 10 cents in my pocket. I was dirty. I was homeless. I mean, I could have kept surviving. I could have kept stealing food and eating. I had food. I had a place to live. I was on the methadone program. I could have kept on going like that. But what happened was, I think my good karma caught up to me because this happened exactly this way. I walk up Bel Air Road and I get to Royal Farm and I stop at Royal Farm and I'm thinking I'm going to sit there and try to bum money off of people so I can get high. And this is like literally 4 months ago. And so two friends of mine, Matt and Tina, walk up to the Royal Farm. So I take their phone and I seen a friend of mine that I was locked up with. I seen him at the methadone program the day before and he told me about this crisis center named Pascal, crisis relief. So I was like, all right. So I get on his phone and I call the place Pascal. I'm like, hey, can you take me? And the place said, look, we'll call you right back. So I drank a natty daddy, and then they call me right back at like 20 minutes later, and it's like 11 o'clock at night right now. And I could have just went back to the bando, went to sleep, went out, got some money the next day, did something, stole something, figured it out. But then what I did was I called a childhood friend of mine. I was like, man, I'm going to call Rob and see if he'll give me a ride. So I called Rob. Now, Rob don't live nowhere near where I'm at. But for some reason, when I called him, he was literally on the Beltway at the exit for Bel Air Road where I was at. And the fact that I called him at that point to ask him for a ride to Crownsville to go get clean wasn't a coincidence. It was that reason is why, the fact that I really wanted to get clean at that point is why when I called him is where he was, and the fact that he couldn't give me a ride at that point. And that happened. And that's what I was talking about in the last video. The karma. The karma comes back for you. My karma is starting to be good. Like, also another thing. The reason why I'm calling the book that I'm writing The Other Side of the Bridge is for this reason. Me getting clean this time. I was in a treatment center, and these treatment centers, you know how they are. They're just bullshit. They're all they do is they're only about their money for them. This place has like one staff on during the nighttime. They want you to do deal with their doctors and their people and their money, their money, their money, their money. So I'm asking them about this place called Chop Tank. Now, this place is on the other side of the bridge. That's why I said this. Now, I think I'm going to call my book This Side of the Bridge, not the other side of the bridge. It's going to be called This Side of the Bridge. Now, I called Chop Tank. They did a evaluation on me over the phone, and yeah, they were going to accept me, right? So, the next day, that night. So I'm writing every night. I'm writing about, manifesting my future. I'm writing about all this stuff. It's going through my head. I'm writing about it, writing about it, writing about it, writing about it, worrying about my girl Rachel, worrying about her. I made her a little, she likes butterflies, so I drew a butterfly on this little bag and wrote her name on the back of it. Real neat. I do tattoos sometimes and draw, and I did this really neat little thing for her. I wrote her a letter and told her that she can't, what are we both going to do out there getting high? We can't get clean. So, put a little bit of heart into it, because that's what we do. As humans, we have emotion and we have love and we care about people, and we try to do things that are nice for other people to make ourselves feel good about ourselves. So what I did was this. I came down. I think, you know what? I might want to stay on this side of the bridge when I go to the my next place. And now this place is just on this side of the bridge in Annapolis. So I was thinking about that the night after I talked to the people about the place on the Eastern Shore, because I thought, what if something happens and I get stuck on the other side of the bridge and I get kicked out and I'm stuck over there with no money and no way home? So what I did, I thought about that, and then I came downstairs, and the guy Andy that runs the place at Edgewood, Project Chesapeake, place I'm in now, he says, "Oh, Greg, Chop Tank called. They said they ain't got no beds, but guess what? We got a bed in our program right down here in Annapolis. You can go fucking tomorrow." So I think in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure Chop Tank called and said that there's no beds available. That's bullshit. I just like to, all the lies they tell you just to get your fucking number. You know what they do here? If you piss dirty in a program in Baltimore, you can get sent right here. This place gets paid $17,000 a month for you. The place that I'm in. The inpatient place gets paid $22,000 a month. You think they get mad if you piss dirty? You know what you do when you piss dirty? You go right back to the beginning, and they, instead of them getting $17,000 a month, they're getting $22,000 a month again for you. And they do that 3 times a year. You can piss dirty 3 times a year and get jacked back up. But anyway, the fact that I was thinking about staying on this side of the bridge is what happened the next day. And it was my karma and my choice. But of course they think oh yeah, I got him to go to our program. I wanted to go here because I thought about it the night before and manifested it. But thanks. Wanted to set this for you. Yeah, I'm gonna make another video about some shit that happened around COVID when I was locked up and shit, but I'm gonna post that in a little while. Thanks for listening. I hope y'all subscribe and like this video. See you. Peace.